Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Colton Shannon, and I'm here with my best friend in the world, Matt Collins. And I've asked Matt to do the video this month for our newsletter. Our focus is on acceptance as opposed to resignation. And I believe acceptance, especially through the holiday season, November, December, is just something that we need to come back to every year for our own recovery of heart, for our sense of serenity, for even for grief. And so I've known Matt Collins since fourth grade. We have done a lot of crazy things together. And through God's provision and the suffering reality of the world, um, Matt has created the Magnolia Foundation even through his grief. And the Magnolia Foundation is a institution that helps people all across, really almost across the country, but definitely the Southeast
Yeah.
region now
Yeah.
and keep growing. And the Magnolia Foundation helps couples, parents who have lost children, and they do that through helping with funeral costs, expenses, helping with counseling, pay for counseling, and commemorative care, which is how how you talk about or explain sending gifts and thoughtful notes and things like that through the bigger days of the year. So that's in a nutshell a little bit about what Magnolia does. And Matt also lost his daughter in the tornado that came through and kind of hurtled through Nashville and onto Cookeville a few years ago. So Matt, I think about this all the time that our lives have always been intertwined.
Mhm.
Just what God's done in my life through counseling and recovery, and then what God's done in your life. And it just like it keeps getting more and more entwined because
Yeah.
I think our missions just overlap so much. So to me, it's really God's favor and kindness towards,
hmm
I feel this a lot towards me. I think you do too, but just
Yeah.
keep our jobs allow us to keep talking all the time.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of bizarrely,
How cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So will you
Yeah.
fill in some gaps there and just tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing?
Yeah. We, I think, my life really, you and I both, like high school directionally, kind of have always been going in a very similar direction, right? In terms of wanting to serve people, help people. That was just kind of what we always were kind of set up to do, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and so I spent the first part of my adult life in ministry. When we lost Hattie, who's our oldest daughter, we have three girls. When we lost her, everything changes, right? I mean, just everything changes, and so I really, you know, stumbled around for a few years after that, just like what is life supposed to look like? I had gone back to ministry and was struggling in that, and what that was supposed to look like. And so, um, but really, there's always been, since we lost Hattie, there's always been this really strong desire to stay connected to her, and however, whatever that looked like, right? Um, I mean, yeah, I can vividly remember like when we were in the hospital after the tornado, just like Macy and I, my wife, talking about, do like setting up a scholarship for her. I mean, just like something to do something to just have her name attached to it, to hold on to her, to have anything that we could grasp for. And so, and that thought never left, And so after several years, we kind of began what is now the Magnolia Foundation. And um, it has been a really beautiful, um, past couple of years professionally. I love it, um, and I hate that like we're the ones doing it. I mean, it's this really weird tug of like, I love what I do as much or more than I've ever loved anything else professionally. I mean, not as much or more. I mean, this is it. Like I love it, and I also wish that I wasn't the one doing it, right? Like I would choose Hattie, you know. Um, and so that's kind of the tension that I have to live in right now. But um, yeah, we get to work a lot together, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. That's been a really uh, big joy in my life the last couple of years. So yeah, we get families in all the time, unfortunately.
How many will you serve this year? The projection.
Well, we will probably serve this year somewhere in the neighborhood of 350 families we'll connect with. And that'll be, like you said earlier, kind of all over in some ways, but really heavily focused in the Southeast, um, in the states that touch Tennessee, you
Yeah.
know. So most families in Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, I mean, kind of in this area, but families from all over also. 19 different states are represented so far. Um, but really heavily located here in the South.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, of course, this is a nonprofit, so you work through donation.
Mhm.
If anybody's
Right.
watching, I mean, my heart is so tied to what you're doing. It's a beautiful cause, and you're in it. It's your family's mission.
Right.
It's a nonprofit that's gotten so big that no one knows who leads it anymore. It's yours.
Yeah. Hmm.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
talk about acceptance and resignation. And I want to set you up for a question here. Uh,
Okay.
I believe acceptance and resignation has become so tied together in our upbringings and in everyone's mind that it really does take a lifetime, one day at a time, getting up every day and finding out what acceptance means for me today,
Hmm.
as opposed to resigning. We all know what resigning means. Here's my resignation letter, and I'm sliding it across the table. In other words, I don't want to work here doing this anymore. My
Hmm.
heart is out of the mission at hand or the task at hand. I don't agree with the purpose, or I've been so harmed in this business or company or whatever, like I'm resigning myself from it. So emotionally, uh, resignation means essentially I'm out of the fight, and uh, I'm not going to fight to feel this pain anymore. And I'm not going to seek out what I need related to this pain anymore.
Hmm.
And I'm going to, over time, stop hoping that it will get any better. So I'm just going to block it out. And it's easy to think about that with relationships we have, um, wounds we have, even our own connection with God. We can practice a resignation uh, one day at a time or for a whole lifetime, which is really, really sad.
Yeah.
Acceptance is different than that. It's uh, really connected to our sadness,
Hmm.
and it's knowing what I'm sad about, meaning
Hmm.
what I've lost that I needed or I wanted, what I thought I couldn't live without. And I know where my sadness is just for today.
Yeah.
Let a person today, um, a friend here, and it took him some time, but he kind of came to what he was sad about, and his shoulders were like just dropped, and just
Yeah.
naming that sadness, you know, doesn't fix anything, but at least we know where we're at.
Hmm.
And then there's action steps from there that we can take. But so often we take action before we name where we're sad.
Hmm.
And that's not acceptance. That's actually kind of a form of resignation, oddly. So that's my big setup here. I I think you, because of life circumstances, have become a master of acceptance. And that is, I know you're perfect, I'm not saying perfect,
No.
but
Uh,
like you've been through such a level of pain that you could have phoned it in,
hmm
or you could have grieved.
hmm
And you chose grief. I watched you do it. I'm a witness, still am.
hmm
So could you tell us about acceptance, your experience with acceptance or resignation on this?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, one of, man, yeah, there's a lot of thoughts I guess I could share, but, having the support system that we had in place prior to what happened to us, in terms of the friends we had that we already had, right? People that loved us, that already loved us. I don't know that I could ever downplay the importance of that in our life today, and what has what's transpired over the past 5 or 6 years. We were just have always been so loved and cared for already that I hate to think, if that wasn't there when we lost our daughter, you know, what would have been different? I imagine so much could have been different, right? But we just had people, and so that was a huge, I mean, just a huge um, part of us being able to just kind of put one foot in front of the other. Um, and so, that was a massive, I mean, just a massive, massive, massive thing for us. Having Lainey, which is our second daughter, um, you know, kind of gave us a little like, you know, we we're not going to give up on her. There was purpose in that for us, which was helpful. Um, Macy and I both allowing each other, and we learned this early on in counseling, allowing each other to grieve how we needed to grieve. We are very different, which I would imagine most couples are. And so, I mean, we just allowed each other to do what we needed to do and then do what we need to do together, right? And so for us to be able to grieve individually, but also communally, um, that was part of it. I mean, it all kind of goes, right? It's all together, um, and really, I guess, there's nothing that we could do about what happened to us, right? Absolutely nothing. Um, and but there is something that we can do with it. And so just identifying that, like, okay, this is awful. I mean, I don't have language to describe, the intensity of the first realizations of what has just happened. you know I mean, I just vividly remember all of those moments, like when we first found out that this was real. I mean, we thought it was real all day, and then when it was confirmed, I mean, just depths of grief just horror and shock and literal sickness and illness. I mean, just crushing, right? I just remember all of it. Um, but we were never alone in that, ever, 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 ever alone. And we weren't ever afraid to ask for help. And I think honestly, if I'm given, um, if I would give any really kind of advice for somebody who wants to know what acceptance looks like, I think that would probably be, a preeminent piece of that advice would be, I've never been afraid to ask somebody for help. you know, I'm in need right now, and here's what I need, like, what do I do with this? Or Um, and so that's been really, I mean, helpful, right? But I mean, that's been a beautiful piece for me is to be able to find in the community that we already had and that we have continued to make since then, just not being in fear, so much fear that I can't ask for what I need, from people.
Yes.
And so and that's continued on. I mean, I'm still very much that way, right? Like I'm I will ask for help. Because I'll figure out what I need and ask for it. So um
Yeah,
and that's helped us.
your anxiety's not kept you from getting what you need. I
No.
it, it
Uh
it's been your source of strength.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can think of like specific conversations where I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to ask you this question. I don't know what to do with this." And it's like, I mean, just the wildest stuff after the storm. Like there was this GoFundMe. I remember asking you about this GoFundMe that was set up for us, and it was like, I don't know what to do with this money because like I don't know what to do with it, and it's really bothering me, and I need some counsel in this. Um, and I mean, just all kinds of stuff like that. That internally, I don't know, but I know I have a real need to figure something out with it and to get some help with it. And so asking for that help has been something that has just continued to prove that God is faithful to us. We've always had what we've needed, but we have always had to ask for it for the most part, right? I mean, there are times people have met their needs before we ask for it, but we ask a lot, for what we need. Um, yeah.
So acceptance is the gift of grieving
Hmm.
our losses as we ask for help
Yeah.
from others and God. Yeah, you're a witness to that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And it's scary to do that. I don't want to come across like, you know, we just go up and it's just like, hey, you
yeah. Here's
know,
the formula. You know,
yeah. I mean, it
yeah,
is
just as
really,
ask for help. You grieved your
yeah,
guts out in between all this, and
yeah,
disorient.
absolutely.
It's all disorientation.
Yes.
I
It's
love the
hard.
distinction. I wrote it down. Um, we couldn't do anything about it, but we could do something with it,
Uh-huh.
which
Yeah.
speaks to serenity prayer, kind of acceptance. Uh,
Uh-huh.
accept what we cannot change. Give us the courage to change the things we can,
Hmm.
to know the difference. Um, I think that's a beautiful handhold to live
Yeah.
out. I can't do anything about it. So, in other words, you're admitting your powerlessness,
Uh-huh.
not helplessness. Here's where I'm at, what I'm feeling about what's in front of me.
Hmm.
Where is the support? Where will my help come from? You
Hmm.
know, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
got to come from somewhere I can't do it on my own.
Right.
And you were right. You couldn't. No one could.
Hmm.
Where will this help come from? That
Yeah.
that that's acceptance and
Hmm.
waiting and such strength. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to add right there? I know we've
Yeah.
already been through our time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, man. Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, it is. Like I'm sitting here like we're like laughing and stuff, but it's really hard. And it is scary. Um, but I have always wanted to hold on, not hold on like I've always wanted to be connected to our grief, right? Like not move past it, not move away from it, not move on from it. I want to feel it, you know, and um, being able to ask for help and to identify what I need has allowed me to continue to feel and to like to be here, right? Um, and so, yeah, acceptance. I think you may have said this earlier, but acceptance is not like moving away from or on from,
Yeah.
you know. It's it's being very present in what's happening. And and that's something, in the midst of grief, ongoing grief, right? I always want to be connected to what I feel. I
Mhm.
don't want to leave it. Um, and so asking for help allows me to do that.